see. Yep, that's all good.
There it goes.
Okay, hopefully this time.
Yeah.
Okay, right, tonight I have the pleasure of speaking to Matt James, the amazing voice behind Blacktop Mojo. So thanks for our time tonight, and hello from Scotland.
Howdy. Howdy from Texas. Yeah.
Not a word we use very often over here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat around the bush. I do have a bone to pick with you, which is nice and easy considering you're 4,600 miles away. But everyone knows me is going to expect this question. So here goes. I've been championing the band for over 3 years now. I've shouted your name from the rooftops. I've forced albums and videos down all my friends' throats, and I've constantly harassed your PR, Tom George. And even last year, I set up a petition for Blackstone Cherry to take you on tour over here in the UK. I honestly felt that 2020 was the year that I would finally see you live, but COVID kicked that in the teeth. So can I get a cast iron guarantee from the horse's mouth that it is going to happen and that we are going to see you over here in the UK at some point?
We will definitely be in the UK at some point, but I don't know when that point is.
Hopefully not too long. I'm getting too old for this shit. I can't wait.
I know. Well, I've always wanted to go over there, so I'm really hoping that it's sooner rather than later. So
have you even visited? Have you been?
I haven't. Never been.
So no UK, no Europe at all.
No Europe at all, man. I've never been.
You don't know what you definitely.
I know.
I was saying to you earlier on as well is that I just think the reason I've been screaming to get you over here is I think you are going to do so well. I mean, the story with Blackstone Cherry, I mean, they're huge over here, and they play arenas. You've got Cadillac 3, Whiskey Myers. These guys are now becoming huge as well, and I just think you'll slot in there, and you will just, it'll just take another step for you over here. I think you'll do really, really well. So the sooner the better. But
absolutely,
I suppose we'll just have to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get the COVID crap out of the way, basically. We're all sick of it. So how are you coping with the situation?
We were actually on tour in February, right up to the point, I think they started locking stuff down the second week of March. So we were fortunate in that we were already going to be home kind of in this lockdown period. Of course, we were supposed to be on tour with Hinder right now, and that got postponed to the end of the year. But we've been doing a lot of live streams, man, and we just put out a new EP today. And
we'll go into that later. But yeah, so it's killing your plans. Did you have your own plans for more touring apart from the you say the Hinder? And you had a whole load of festivals. Obviously, they've been cancelled as well. But did you have most bands are looking a year and a half, 2 years ahead? Have you had to pull something that you had in place?
I think most of the time when we're booking, we usually do about 6 months out. So we were going to go on this Hinder tour, and usually while we're on tour, we'll get another tour. We also had a bunch of summer festivals that we were going to tour around July that they just got canceled last week. So it's been moving a lot of stuff. It's been shuffling a lot of things, and but hopefully toward the end of the year we'll be able to get back out there.
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely hope so. I was looking at Texas on the internet earlier, and it looks like you guys are kind of coming out of the lockdown now, so it's getting a bit easier. Are you getting back to some sort of normality, or is normality you touring for you guys?
Yeah, I mean normal's touring for sure, but we actually got to play an acoustic gig at our local bar last week. I think it was. Time's running together. I can't remember when it was, but but we got to play on the patio, and everybody kind of did the social distancing thing. Sat at their own tables and kind of stayed away from each other, and all the bartenders were wearing masks, but it was nice to be able to play for a live audience, instead of to a camera. So
it must have been different though. I mean, it must have been you, as I say, you sitting there out looking at that, from a stage and seeing everybody spaced apart, as you say, barmen with masks. So it just must, that's surreal.
It was weird. It was definitely a little weird, but hey, man, I was just thankful to be playing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
God knows what's going to happen to mosh pits. That could be the end of mosh pits from now on. Eh? You're not going to have that again.
right, right.
Mosh,
I don't.
you know, they're gone.
Well, I mean, most venues I know have signs that say no moshing, but people do it anyway. So I think it's going to be hard to stop mosh pits. You know.
It is. I know you guys love your guns, so have you been able to take out your frustration with the guns, and what do you own yourself?
I actually just bought my first gun a couple weeks ago. It's a Smith and Wesson 40, and so that's the only gun I actually own. But usually we got a lot. We live in Texas, so obviously we got a lot of friends with guns, and we'll go clay shooting every now and then, you know,
Yeah.
and just blast some stuff, you know. Yeah.
It just seems quite strange because obviously in the UK we don't have that. You know, it's completely.
Right.
You know, so it does seem a bit strange. I have done the clay pigeon shooting as well. That's obviously good fun, but
Oh yeah.
I would love to go into just one of the ranges and just, you know, pick up anything and just, you know, shoot it all. It's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we actually took my new pistol out. Had a couple friends buy guns too, and they hadn't got to shoot them yet, so we all set up a bunch of, you know, bottles and cans and stuff behind my drummer's parents' house, and they got a little pasture over there, so we just set up a little target range, you know, and just started. It was nice to pop off some shots, you know.
Yeah. So you're a good shot then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I suppose that comes with the birth certificate in Texas, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're born and you shoot.
Yeah. Exactly.
They just come back. You obviously have kept really busy during the lockdown. How did you find doing the live sessions? Is it, you know, and like that live show, is it not just weird, just playing and then getting no reaction as an entertainer? You know, you expected that instant reaction, and does it take you back to, you know, the early days when you were maybe playing small halls with like nobody there?
Absolutely, it does. There were nights on our first tour where we played to nobody but the sound guys and the bartenders. So it's sort of like that. You know, you got all that, yeah, that crazy energy, and then, you know, silence at the end of a song. You know, but you still got to give it your all, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've obviously watched them. I mean, and it's something that you have kind of grown at it over the years. Anyway, you just go away and you see videos. You know, you just chilling out and just playing. It just seems to be your thing. You know, obviously there's nobody in the band when you're playing songs and, you know, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so you have got it tied down, to be honest. You've got it really well. And you, as I say, you're one of the guys up there that's really, you know, really put it in during the lockdown. And I mean, has it done anything for your figures and for, you know, for like purchases and stuff like that of the band's material? Continuing to put that out, is it keeping rolling over?
Yeah, our new EP that came out, it came out today, and it's rolling along, man. There's a lot of streams on it already. So,
Yeah. Good. I'm
yeah.
going to touch on that in a minute, but just before we go, because obviously it was such a big thing with the last album, and we had all the crap with the Kickstarter, which really got used. Did you come out of that financially okay, or did you lose out of the whole situation?
We lost. I think we lost about $30,000 on that situation. But we weren't by far the least fortunate band. That it happened to a lot of bands, you know, and a lot of bands lost more money than we did, and we were fortunate to get a little bit of the money that we raised before everything really collapsed and went to shit over there. So. Yeah, we got enough money to record the album, which was, you know, that's half the battle, and then the other half of the battle being promoting it and everything like that. So we had to go out of pocket to do that, and but we got the songs made, you know.
Yeah,
so that's the most important part, you know.
Yeah, and you must really feel that, I suppose, like after that carry on last year, and now you've got COVID, and that's obviously taken away your merch sales, you know, and all the sales that you do at the gigs. So have you put a plan in place, or are you just playing it by ear at the moment, you know, and just getting on with it?
We've been pretty much just kind of playing it by ear since everything's really up in the air. Like I said, they just canceled the festivals in July last week, so it's all kind of we were planning on touring around that, and
I mean,
now you kind of we have to keep this whole COVID thing. You got to constantly be pivoting and rotating
yeah,
and figuring out a new move. So
this is it. I think a lot of bands are learning. Definitely, it's definitely a huge learning curve, and you realise we've got to do things differently. But I do think
sure.
I do think that we will lose a lot of bands, who just won't cope and won't make it, who maybe can't just adjust it and just can't live on without the tour. I mean, there's seen a
Right.
few bands, it's just basically saying, well, we're just having a hiatus, we're not doing anything. I mean, you also talked earlier about the Hinder tour. I mean, do you stock up massively on your t-shirts and stuff before tours like that? And are you sitting with a huge warehouse somewhere with loads of stuff?
Yeah, we tend to stock up, but usually not until right before we leave. So luckily we don't have a huge
So,
pile of t-shirts sitting, at the house. So
yeah, 'cause, I
um,
mean, there's a lot of bands that I've seen that they had full European tours. They were just going out in March, and they've
oh
all
yeah,
all of that stuff, and they're sitting with it and just selling them cheap. Nobody's
oh
selling.
yeah,
Right, okay. Now you touched on it earlier. You've got an EP, Static, which is, as you say, is out today. Absolutely outstanding. I loved it. I done my review of it last night, so I sent it over to Tom. So you'll probably see it today at some
oh
point.
cool, man.
All I can say to everyone is I can assure them it's a stunning piece of work. And one of the comments I did make in my review is that EPs can kind of be seen sometimes as a kind of throwaway. If people can
Yeah,
say, it's a filler, it's just stuck in there. And some people just go, yeah, it's an EP. But then every now and then you get EPs that come along and it's like a defining moment for a band. And I kind of associated the EP with Guns N' Roses' Lies. Not
okay, yeah,
not because musically, nothing to do with musically, but I thought that had a massive impact and it really kicked Guns N' Roses on. It was a different view for them. And I honestly think that a lot of people will see the same for you.
thank you, man.
Yeah, as I say, it's stunning. It's 4 songs. It's absolutely brilliant. So if anybody's out there hasn't seen it, hasn't got it, buy it. It's brilliant. But on that, so why did you choose an EP? Why did you say, right, let's do an EP, let's not bother wait off and doing an album? Because it's not that long, from
Yeah,
Sons, it's not that far away. So why did you just have the songs lying about? Were they extra
yeah,
or
yeah. We actually we recorded them while we were doing the sessions for Under the Sun, and they were they didn't quite fit on Under the Sun. They didn't really have the the vibe for that album, but they all seem to kind of have their own separate, similar thing. So we kind of set them aside, and I felt like they all really flowed together really well. And
yeah, that was one of the things I was going to say. To me, the whole thing seems to be packaged. It's a very emotional EP.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of emotions in it. I thought the lyrics are outstanding. I mean, if you've got time, if you get time to run through a quick history of the 4 songs, are you okay to do that?
sure, sure.
Bit of background.
Uh, so the first song is called "The End," and that was written. It was actually the very first song that was written after "Burn the Ships." So it's the oldest. Um, Whenever we started writing songs for Under the Sun, that was one of the first ones that we had come up with. But it was about I broke up with a girl that I was dating for a few years, and we had gotten the opportunity to open up for Bon Jovi. We won a contest and got to open up for Bon Jovi in an arena. So it was like one of the biggest opportunities that we'd had thus far as a band, and we just broken up, and I realized, I'm not going to be able to.
Share it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a really really weird feeling. But the guys, they started playing kind of the riff and just jamming, and I was in the other room doing like a vocal warm up or whatever, and I just came in there and I just started yelling stuff, and it was literally like the first verse and first chorus hasn't changed. It was just that was what I was saying, and we luckily had it on a cell phone recording so I could remember what I said. But yeah,
Well, that's one way to do it. So I suppose that's one good thing about technology.
yeah,
But for me, Wash Me Drown is just the standout track for me. I just thought it was stunning. So, and again, it's very emotional. It's very lyric driven. So where did that come from? That one?
that one. I was in a pretty, I would say, dark place emotionally. I live in a house. We all live in a house together, me and the guys, and so even though it's one of those things, like even though you might be surrounded by people all the time, you can feel isolated. You can still feel alone, and I was kind of going through that, and I didn't feel like I could reach out to anybody, and that was just kind of a cathartic thing, like to just be able to kind of put that on paper, and it made me feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm taking it. I've just got a funny feeling. Obviously, Texan guys will probably be pretty much the same as your Scottish guys. We don't go to your mates when you've got problems. If you did, they turn around and call you a pussy and say, "Get a grip, man up." And let's
Oh
get.
yeah.
That's the answer, isn't it? Let's get pissed for everything. So
Oh yeah.
great that you obviously that output for it. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Leave It Alone is next.
Yeah. So Leave It Alone is we have a lot of friends that serve in the military, but that song ended up kind of being about it's put through the lens of from the point of view of a soldier that's been to war, but it's really just about kind of trauma, like people poking and prodding where they shouldn't, and it's through like I said, the point of view of a soldier that's been to war, and a lot of our friends that have served and been in combat and stuff like that. We asked them, what's the most annoying question that you ever get asked? And it's always, have you ever killed anybody, or have you ever shot anybody? People that go straight to that question, that's just, it's not cool, and so that's kind of what that song is about.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
I get that. And then again, I think Signal's Gone. Probably my second favourite on it. It's an awesome track. I thought it was very. I know these guys are post grunge, but it's very kind of grungy. They are very Kurt Cobain. I thought you come over really strongly. The vocals are just outstanding on it. It's just.
Thank you, man.
As a standalone track, I thought it was brilliant. So where was that one coming from?
That one's just a old classic story of getting ghosted by a girl. Actually, I was talking to a girl at the time, and I thought things were going really well, and then suddenly you just don't hear from them ever again.
And then you're thinking, what did I say?
Yeah.
Hopefully there was no dick pics involved. No.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. As I say, I'm going to say again, everyone that's out there, if you haven't even thought about it, haven't even looked at it, definitely buy the EP. It is outstanding. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And everybody I know that said, obviously, there's 2 tracks were already out before today, the end of Wash Me Drown, so people have got a feel of it. They might be a bit surprised with the second 2 songs because they are different. They know they're a bit dipped down, but as I say, the emotion and everything in it is just fantastic. Okay, I'm going to touch on, you guys, you are all in the same house. You have been doing the same as everyone else during lockdown, which is watching Netflix and box sets. So what's been going on in your house? What have you guys been playing?
Oh, man. We've been playing Xbox a lot. We played the new Call of Duty quite a bit. I don't play it so much, but the other guys, they love this game called Rocket League. It's basically soccer with cars, which is pretty cool. And then we watch, like you said, a lot of Netflix, a little HBO every now and then. I watched the whole 3rd season of Westworld in a day, I'm pretty sure.
It's the same as everyone. It's amazing how people's lives have changed. It's just like,
I know.
I'm saying I'm lucky, but I'm probably unlucky because I'm still working. I'm still not changed because I work from home, so I'm in telecom, so I'm still going on. So I'm not really seeing a huge difference in it. So,
Sure.
and so I do get a bit pissed off. I have to be honest when all my friends are going, "I'm bored now. This is," and I'm sitting going, "Well, I'm still working." You know,
Enjoy it while you got it.
I know. And the thing is, our weather here has been fantastic. In Scotland, that just doesn't happen. And somebody's like, "Oh, well, I'm just going to lie in the sun." You're like, "Oh, piss off." Right, I'm going to touch on Dream On. Now, I had a look before we done before I come on done the interview. With 17 million views now for Dream On. Yeah, and I suspect this video is responsible for a whole lot of your fans. You know, I'm sure a lot of people found you because of that. Was it a piece of luck doing it, or was there a bit of genius behind it?
No, nah, genius and us don't belong in the same sense. That was definitely luck, man. It was we really, truly, and honestly did that for fun and put it out there, and it just kind of grew legs and took on a life of its own. So we're very fortunate, and it like you said, it brought a lot of people to our band, and we see a lot of comments on there that say, you know, I came for the cover and then I looked up all your albums and all this other stuff. So that's pretty cool to see.
Brilliant. That kind of moves on to what I was going to say next. I always wondered, you know, when a band has such a massive impact with a cover, how they embrace it. And do you end up hating that song at some point? Except because I mean, I can imagine 17 million views. You'd be like, well, you know, at some point, obviously, Aerosmith had 17 million views for their Dream On. And
sure.
They can go, well, it's our song. You know, you're sitting there going, oh, we're doing somebody else's song. But do you just accept it and say it's still doing it for us, or?
Oh yeah, it just we took a break for playing it live for a little while, but we break it out every now and then. It's kind of when you break it out every now and then, it's kind of a treat, you know, for yourself to be like, okay, we hadn't done this in a while. Let's do this. This is fun.
Well, for me, you were my hope because obviously you remember, was it 2 years ago, I think, when Aerosmith done their Arrivederci tour, which was supposedly going to be their last tour.
Oh yeah.
I remember sitting out. I was actually over in Barcelona in Spain at a festival, and they were playing it. And I remember, you know, Perry on top of that white piano with him playing.
Yeah.
And I thought, is this going to be the last time I'm going to hear this song live? You know.
Yeah.
And I think it was either just before it or just after it, I heard you doing the song, and I thought, I can move on, I can see it, because I can see you guys still playing it, I can hear it. It's such a good song, though, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
For how old is it now? What are we talking? 40 years nearly, probably more. And you know, still such an impact. And as I say, you just do it justice. It's just stunning, your version, and that's why it's done.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to finish up now because I've kept you long enough, especially as nobody knows, but we had a whole load of technical problems. I had to start again. But you just done the online show with Clutch. Last night or 2 nights ago. And got me to thinking, because Clutch were actually headlining a festival over here in the UK called Ramblin' Man, and they were playing 3 separate days on it. And so, just to kind of give us a bit of fantasy and finish off with, I want you to imagine that a promoter come up to you and says, here's a shitload of money, I want you to put on a festival. You can pick who you want, you get enough money, whoever you ask is going to play it. You're going to headline the main stage. It's only the one day, so who would you pick for that main stage, and who would you pick for a second stage for guys that are coming through?
Oh man. Do we have enough money to get Led Zeppelin?
Whatever you ask, we'll play. What do you got?
Man, that'd be tough. Led Zeppelin, that's one of my favorite bands. I would love to see them play live one time. I know they don't do it very often anymore, but I don't know. Bush, we played with Bush a few times. They're always put on an incredible show. Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, Tool. I want to see Tool. We can get Tool. They'll probably headline in the festival anyway. They headline every festival.
Good.
Uh, yeah.
Small bands. I mean, who do you guys listen to? Is there anyone around your Texas area? You know, the smaller upcoming bands that maybe us guys in Europe would have heard.
Um, we actually tour around a little bit with some guys from Georgia.
Ah,
They're called Low Water.
right.
Low Water. So uh, really great grungy sound, man. Like straight out of Seattle sound, but they're from bunch of Southern boys like us. So it's pretty cool. Uh, they're they just put out a record I think last year called Voodoo, and it's a killer record, man.
Check that one out. Check that
Yeah.
one. What about Texas? You must have a good few bands you use in your backyard,
There's a lot of good bands in Texas, man. I'm actually a fan of this band called the Quaker City Nighthawks.
right?
They're from Fort Worth. They got some killer tunes, man. Good old like some throwback retro
Yeah,
'70s rock type of stuff. Yeah.
it's good. What about your old boys, Sons of Texas? How they
Oh, I
do?
love them. Love
Uh,
them.
awesome.
Their last EP was killer, man. Killer.
Oh, unbelievable. I remember I seen them in a tiny little hall. They were supporting, oh, I can't even remember who they were supporting. They were that good that I forgot the name of the headliner. Oh, they just blew me away. They were just, they took Southern to a different level. You know, it's just heavy
Oh
as hell.
yeah.
Great band, yeah. Fun. So it is. Well, anyway, I've kept you long enough. Matt, thanks very much for your time. Loved it.
Yeah.
Um,
Man.
I wish you all the best with Static. As I say, people get to hear it, I think. They're not going to say, oh, it's just an EP. There's some four classic songs,
Yeah.
every single one of them. So
Thank you,
all the
man.
best. So I just want you to stay safe and just make sure at some point you do get over here, get to Scotland. We'll take you around. Do you like whiskey? There's no
Absolutely.
I'll take you to the distilleries. If you come, they'll take you.
Yeah, man. No,
No,
it's at the top of the list, man. It's
uh,
at the top of the list. Get to
okay.
Europe.
Right. Well, thanks so much. Thanks very much. Absolutely loved it. Great to speak to you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'm just going to stop this so as I don't gub it up.